So if you're on Windows, to access your command prompt, what you do is you can access that from, you can click on this start icon by the left hand side. It depends on the kind of Windows you are running on. So I'm running on Windows 10. So I have this. So you can just go scroll down in your installed applications. Then you can scroll down, and I think we can get it under Windows Administrative Tools. Yes. So no, not here. Should it be Windows System? So you can see it under Windows System, or you can actually press Windows on your keyboard. Press Window key, then R. So that is Window R. So let me just type that out. So let me just delete this. So you can press your Window key plus R, letter R on your keypad. So if you press that, that is going to open up, what's it called? So let me press that. It's going to open up something for you to run. I don't know. Can you see my screen? So once it opens this up, so in this window, you can run anything. So you can just type CMD and click OK, and it's going to open up the command prompt for you. So it's opened up my own command prompts. And the question now is, what is this command prompt? What is it? Anyway, the command prompt is how humans originally communicated with computers up until 1980s. So it was the main way for humans to give instructions to computers, and computers give back output to humans. So this is just the way like humans and computers communicate back in the days. So back in the days, we don't have something called GUI. You know, GUI, like, which is GUI, something like this. And let me go back. GUI means, you know, oops, not this, come on. So GUI means graphical user interface. So what graphical user interface means, like if presently, let's say I want to use my Microsoft Word like this is a graphical user interface, because, you know, I can see home, I can click on this, I can click on that, you know, I can run current slide, I can do whatever I need to do with just a click. So this is graphical user interface. It's just a graphic. There are a lot of things happening at the background. Just like you visit a website. If you develop a website and people are visiting your website, they will see something graphical. They can interact with that. But at the back end, you actually have codes running. So back in the days, you know, there's something called GUI. There's something called GUI, graphical user interface. You know, such as me opening up new folder, you know, creating what's it called? Like, let's say I open up this and I'm trying to create, you know, a project, you know, all those, I'm double clicking on this, opening a folder, you know, right clicking this. There is nothing like this back in the days. And here I can create a different folder. So there is nothing like this back in the days. So we don't have GUI. Oh, come on. I don't need to do this. So we don't have GUI back in the days. And, you know, so presently, all these things that we are doing, opening up Chrome, we don't know how these things are actually happening behind the hood. So, but these things are things we want to learn today. How to run the command, how to like open folder from the command, create a text file, run your project from the command, and all those. So command line are really useful because we can do the same thing that we've been doing with the GUI that you would probably do visually. But, you know, they tend to be much more faster. Command lines are much more faster, and they are much more, you know, easier ways. They make things easier for us. So I'm going to show you all this in this session. And also, there are common ways, you know, to access different computers around the world. Like if you need to access a server in another country where your web app is hosted, you would use the command line. And I will show you how to do that later on in the course. So in your day-to-day job as a developer, you'll be using the terminal a lot. So this terminal or this command line, you'll be using it a lot because you will have access to, servers, databases, your applications, your codes that are hosted elsewhere in another country on a different server. So you can do everything, having access to your servers, having access to your databases, your application codes, from one terminal. And you can also download scripts that other people have written from the internet so that you can use them in your projects through the terminal. So through the command line. So these things are things that I'm going to show you later on in the sections. So the commands that I'm about to show you presently works on Windows. Like I said the other time, I'm going to share with us the other commands, though they are very similar, that works on Linux and probably on Mac OS, So at the end of the section, I'm going to show them. Most of them are the same, but there are just few differences like that. So let's get started. And I hope you are excited like as I am presently. So the first command that I want to show you is the dir command. Not like this. dir command. And I don't know if you're on Mac, the equivalent of this command on Mac is ls. So, but on Windows, we use dir. And what is dir? Dir command lists all the files, lists all the content in a directory. What is a directory? Directory is a folder. For example, this directory is the name project directory. So if I enter another directory now, let's say I enter, what can I say, text to speech. So I am inside text to speech directory. So a folder is a directory. So if I'm using directory, like I'm using the word, just know that I'm referring to a particular folder that's, So this dir lists all the content inside a directory. And presently, I am inside this directory, which is readme directory, readme folder. So we can actually see readme folder. So if I copy this, let me open this folder hub so that you understand what I'm trying to say. So if I want to open this folder hub, so this is the folder, readme folder, that I'm accessing through the command line. So you can see everything I have here. So if I want to list everything out on the command line, what I do is on Windows, I type dir and I press enter. So if I press enter, it's going to list out all the things I have. And part of the things I have there is desktop. So if I check the folder now, you see that I have desktop there. So I can, list out all the things. You can see that I have, what else do I have? I have Yarn, I have MPC, MRE, all those things, Git ignore. And if you come back here, you are going to see all of them because I've just listed them out like this. So then another thing I want to show you is another command I want to show you is cd. So let me show you another command, which is cd. And what is cd? You can see it, I'm typing it down. What is cd? Cd means change directory, like change the folder. So if I do cd enter now, it's just going to tell me the present folder I'm in. So this is my present working folder. So if you're on Linux or Mac OS, if you type pwd, so pwd means present working directory. But on Windows, it is cd. So if I type cd, it's going to list out the name of the directory I am in presently. So let's say I want to leave this. Then let me show you another thing because this is getting longer. So let's say this screen is getting longer. I have a lot of information here. Then I want to clear all this up. There is a command for that. What is the command? CLS. CLS means clear screen. It means clear everything on this screen. So if I type CLS and I type enter, it clears everything. You see that? So let's see what we have now. Inside the directory, I am presently inside the readme directory. So let's say I want to go back, like I want to go up a level. Like I want to leave this readme directory, I want to go back into users. For example, it's something we can do here. Like if I want to go back, what I can do is I can just come here and you know, I can just do what's it called? I can just do go back. So which we go back one directory, but you know, let's say I'm here and I'm inside C, and inside C I'm inside users, and users I'm inside readme. So I'm inside readme here. So I'm inside readme. So inside this readme, I have a list of things which I've listed out the other time. So let's say I want to go back one level. So here I can just click go back and I go back to readme. But with my command, how do I go back? To go back, you do cd dot dot. So if you do cd dot dot, it's going to go back one level. You see that I'm back in users. So if I do cd dot dot again, it's going back one level. So how do we go forward? So that is another question. So let's say I want to go to this readme. How do I do that? You still use cd. Cd means change directory. So change directory to where? To users. You see that I've entered users. Then cd to readme. Readme is a folder inside users. So if you check before I enter that, you see that readme is a folder. Or let's check what we have so that we don't assume. How do you check the content? You press dir. It lists out all the files. So presently, if you check here, you see that I have, this is hidden. I have default migrated. I have public. I have QB data services. I have readme. So here, it lists out the same thing. I have readme, QB services, public, blah, blah, blah. So if I want to enter this particular folder, which is readme, this particular directory, I type cd, then readme. So I am inside, I'm back inside readme. So if I do dir, it's going to list out everything we have inside readme. Then let me just clear my screen. I type clear screen, which is CLS. So another question is, let's say we have another directory, which is desktop, and I change desktop and I change it to that directory, but then I need to access this cback. So instead of doing cd dot dot, you know, might be stressful. I just want to go to the root folder. How do I do that? I will just type cd, then /. If I do this, it goes directly to that folder. But then I want to go back into this desktop folder. How do I do that? So I can just type cd, then you can copy the path. Like I want you to enter users, then once you enter users, enter readme, then once you enter readme, enter desktop. So if I copy this now and I paste it here, oops, and I press enter, I'm back inside that desktop folder, desktop directory. How cool is that? So inside my desktop directory, what do I have? I do dir. I have a lot of folders there, a lot of folders. So let's say, let me just clear screen. So inside that desktop, I need a folder. I want to make a folder. You know how we do that before is, let's say I want to create a folder. What I do is I'll just right click and click new, then come back here and do new folder. With your command line, you can just write a command and it's going to create a folder for you. So how do you create a folder? We can use mkdir. So this is just reading like English, and it's, you can see that they are just like commands. So this is saying make directory. So you are commanding your system, you know what, I want to make a directory. So here I can say make a directory, but then let me just, so let's say I want to let me see it into projects so that I can create a directory there. I don't want to create a directory in my, so if I want to create a new directory, so let me just open my project, what's it called, up. So if I go into desktop, then I have my project folder. So inside there, I have a list of things. So if I check, you can confirm dir is going to list out all the things I have. And you can see I have Python, I have Teambase, I have text to speech, all those. But then I want to create a new directory. Let me just clear screen. So if I want to create a new directory, I'll do make dir, then the name of my directory. So we can just call, let's call the name of my directory. What can we call? So I just want to name it someone's name. So let's say the name of my directory is Ben. So if I want to do this, I'll do make directory, then the name of my directory, which is Ben. So if I press enter now, you see Ben is there. Then if I do dir and check, if I scroll up, we should see Ben. You see, this is Ben. So if I check my folder now, I should have Ben. So I think the best thing for us is just to have these folders side by side, so that the way I'm creating it, at least we can see the magic. So let me just drag this side by side. No, my folder. No, go back. So we have Ben. Oops, sorry. I want to put them side by side so that we can actually see what I'm seeing. We can actually see what our command is doing, so that we can have, So we have dir, we have Ben. So let's go into Ben and see what we have in Ben. So if I do cd Ben, let me clear the screen for so that we can have it at the top. So I can do cd Ben. So I've entered Ben. Presently, if I check, there is nothing inside Ben. So the same thing. So let's enter Ben here. So presently, Ben is empty. So inside Ben, let me create another folder with, let's say we have Ogugua. So I can create another folder name. So inside Ben, I will do Ogugua. So if I do cd Ogugua, oops, sorry, I have to use make dir Ogugua. So you see that automatically it gets created. How cool is that? How beautiful. So that is how to make directory. So another question is, how do you make a folder with the command line? How do you do that? There is a command for that too. So on Windows, if I want to make a folder, I will use echo. But if you're on Mac or Linux, if you want to create a folder, you do touch. So on Windows, if I want to make a folder, I do echo. Then I can do greater than and the name of the folder. So in this regards, let's choose someone else's name. So we are going to choose Lawal. So the name of the folder is going to be, the name of the file is going to be Lawal. So lawal.txt. So if I do this now, let's see, inside Ben, you see that we have Lawal. So imagine before, if I want to name something, what do I do? If I want to create a file, what do I do? The first thing I do is I'll right click, I'll go to new, then create file, then name it Lawal. That is kind of stressful. So with a single command, I can create that within seconds instead of me just going through that. So we can just create another person. So who can we create? Let's create Ibrahim. So I can do echo. Then inside Ibrahim, I want Ibrahim to have a content. So what is the content? I want Ibrahim to have a text like, my name is Ibrahim. So how do we do that? We do echo, then the content. So here, my name is Ibrahim, then greater than, and the name of the file, Ibrahim. So Ibrahim.txt. So if I do this now, you see that we have Ibrahim. And if we open this up, let's see what we have inside Ibrahim. So that is still opening because I'm using Notepad++ for my TXT files. So open up. So that is still opening. So we have, you can see that we have, my name is Ibrahim. How cool is that? How cool is that? So you see that is kind of beautiful. Then so we can create what's it called? We can create folder, we can create files. So how do we undo? Let's say I want to delete, I want to remove a file. How do I remove it? So to remove it, it's also straightforward. Delete. So it's a command. I'm commanding you, my system. Delete a file. So let's say I want to delete lawal.txt. So I'll just give it delete lawal.txt and I press enter. You see that it's gone. So I can also delete Ibrahim, just del Ibrahim.txt. Yeah, I'm a programmer. It's gone. So then we have another file. So if we check inside Ben, what do we have inside Ben? We have Ogugua, which is this file. But I want to delete this Ogugua too. So how do I go about that? Remember, Ogugua is not a file. Ogugua is what? Is a folder. So how do I delete a folder? Well, to delete a folder, you do, let's try del Ogugua. Let's see if this will do. So it brought, are you sure? So yes or no. So I'm going to type Y for yes. So I send. Oh boy, we still have Ogugua. It's not gone. Let's check. Is it there? Yeah. We still have Ogugua. You know what that means? That means this del command only works on files, not on folders. So the question now is, how do we delete folders? To delete folders, you remember, to make folders, we do make mkdir. To delete folder, we do remove rmdir, which is straightforward. So I can say rmdir, then the name of the folder, which is Ogugua. And you see, Ogugua is gone. So if I do dir now, we have something empty folder, 0 files, empty folder. So that is that. So another thing is, okay, we know how to make, we can create, we know how to kill. But no, don't let us just kill. So we can create, we can delete. Then what if I don't want to delete? I want to rename. So how do I rename? Let's recreate another folder. So in this case, I'm going to say the folder name is, whose name can we use now? The folder name is going to be Sunny. So we are going to say make dir, and dir should be a name of Sunny. And you should see that we have Sunny. But then this Sunny, I want to rename it. I made a mistake. The name is not Sunny. I'm actually trying to like use Latif. So how do we rename it? That is straightforward too. So what you do is, let's check the folder. We have Sunny inside of it. Let me clear. So how do we rename? Straightforward, rename is a command. Rename, what do you want to rename? Sunny. Rename it to what? Oh, sorry, this is, the rename is actually for files, but let's see if it's going, if it's going to work. So Latif, it's not going to work because this is a command for files. It's not working, it's for files. So let's say I have a file here, which is echo, and
I think it works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
oh, wow, that's great. Wow, that's interesting. So we are now developers. So let's say we have a name, and the name of the file is readone. We have a file, and the name of the file is readone.txt. So if I do this now, so let's say I want to rename the file too. I can do rename. Then instead of readone, I want readone.txt to be renamed to popoola.css. So let's see. How cool. So fast. You know, that is beautiful. So imagine you are doing this and you have your friends that they are not developers and they're like, I want to create for that. And you're doing this. They'll be like, this guy can hack. You know, this guy is a hacker. Imagine I do this, like, let's say I see debug back and inside my project, and I do this in front of my friends, like DIR, and they see this running, you're like, guy, are you hacking? You know, that's what we see in films. Like they'll just press on things and you see it running, and You know, they'll be like they're hacking. Don't mind them. They are scamming us. So let's go back to Ben folder. So what else can we do? So let's say I don't have this folder opened up, you know, and I want to use my command line to open up a folder. How do I do that? Presently, I can check what is inside. I can create a new folder like read one inside of that folder. And if I check now, I have read one, Pokola, and Latif. So, but then I want to open this folder. How do I open it? So just type start dot. You can see it's start space dot. So if I send this now, let's see the magic. Oh wow, I have my folder opened up. How beautiful. That is awesome. Okay, fine. Let's say I'm done working on command prompt and I need to close it. But then I'm feeling lazy to go here and click on close. So how do I close? Just type exit. We are done. Everything is done. So how cool is that? But then I still have to like open it back because I want to show us some other commands. So if I do cmd here, it's going to open up and cmd command. Yep. So let's say I want to open up. I want to use calculator on my system. Like right now, I want to use calculator, but then I want to run command. So how do I do that? To do that, there are two ways to do it. You can do start, then use calc, or probably you can use another command, which is call. So this is calling an application or calling something on your system. So these two behave similar, but they are slightly different. So if I do start calc, let's see what's going to happen. I do calc, what's going to happen? Nothing is happening. Oh, something happened though. Yeah, my calculator launched. So I can just do like, okay, the money in my bank is 89 billion dollars, and so I can close this. Then I can also do call. So if I do call calc, let's see what's gonna happen. Oops, this is not running. Why? So actually something is wrong because I actually tried this the other time and it works. But then start works. So for now, probably in your own environment, you can try call and calc. But then let's say I want to launch my VS Code. So what can I do? So I can just say start code. So if I do start code, you see that it opened another command prompt. Then it's going to launch my VS Code. But that is not what we want. We don't want additional command prompts to be open. That is when this call function works. So if I do call code now, it's going to open up directly without opening another command. You can see the difference now. So the difference is there. So let's say I want to open up my Explorer, my System Explorer. How do I do that? I can do call. Then I think, is it Explorer? So let's do Explorer. If I do this now, oops, I think it is Explore. Not happening. So let's do start Explorer. And this is going to open up my Explorer, File Explorer for me. You see that I have it opening. So how beautiful that is. So, we are now developers. So how do we start a project using this particular command lines and everything? So I'm going to close all my applications now, the PSC, so that I just want to start as if I'm starting afresh. So how do I go about this? So what do I do? If I want to start a new project, I own my system for the first time, what I'm going to do is I'll just come here and click open, then CMD, I look for my command prompt, and I'm ready to I really wish I could show one of my servers that I'm working on. I use the terminal a lot, not a lot, almost every time, because there is nothing to click. You just have to write codes. You just have to write commands. But don't worry too much about these things. I told us something like as a developer, you have to be very good with Googling. So if you can Google for problems, you surely get solutions. Not just one solution, you see different ways to solve that problem. So most of the times, if I need to do some things on the server and I don't remember all these things offhand, what I do is I go to Google, how can I move a folder to another folder? And you see a lot of options, then I can just use one of them, you know. So let's say I want to start a new project, my HTML project, and I have a project and the client says, you know what, Ridwan, I want you to develop a website for me. And the name of the website is going to be social media. So how do you go about that? So presently, I open up my command prompt and my present directory is Ridbay. Then where do I want to go to? I want to go to my desktop. And in my desktop, I have a folder there named project. If you can see here, let me go back to my desktop. So in my desktop, I'm coming. So my desktop here, I have a project folder. So I want to go there, and inside that project folder, I want to create a new project. Then I can start off my coding. So what do I do? Here I do dir, which is going to list all the content I have inside that folder, in that directory. And I'm going to desktop, which is this. So I can just do cd desktop. So go to desktop. So inside my desktop, let's see what we have. dir, we have all this. And inside my desktop, I want to go into this project folder. So what I do is I do cd projects. So if I do dir, let's say, so I have a lot of content inside my project folder, but then I'm not interested in all this. I just want to create a new project and start my project. So let me just clear the screen with CLS, clear the screen. So here I can say make directory, but then, okay, let me just open it up by the side so that we can see. So make directory, and I'm going to call the name of my directory so that I will have it at the bottom. You can call it any name. Or let me just say make directory social media. So social media folder. And if I check dir now, I should have the social media folder, which is this. So let me just clear my screen again. This is interesting. So here inside the social media, what's it called? Project folder. Let me just put them side by side so that we have everything by the sides. So here I can just go down. Let's go down and see social media. We have it here. So if I go into this now, there is nothing inside of the folder. So I need to create three things because I need to write my HTML code. I need to write my style.css code. I need to write my script.js code. So what do? I do echo. Then let's write something inside that. This is HTML file. Then I do greater than, and this is going to be index.html. Yeah. So let's see. Do we have that? Oh no, we don't have it. What's wrong? So let me refresh. Oh, sorry. Do you see the mistake? I am not inside this social media directory. So that means the code I wrote just now is inside this project directory. So which is this? So I need to enter that directory. So how do I do that? I do cd social media, social media, and I click enter. Then I want to retype this code again, but I am feeling lazy to retype this. So definitely there should be something that will make my life easier instead of retyping and retyping code that I've typed before. So this command line has what is called history. So far this command line is still opened. Every code you type, every command you type at that moment is going to be saved. You can go back to them later on. So how do you do that? On your keyboard, you can use the arrow up key or arrow down just to, like, switch between the history. So if I do arrow up now, it's going to show the last history, which is cd social media. If I press arrow up again, it's going to show the last command, which is echo. This is this. If I do arrow up again, I have CLS. If I do arrow up again, I have dir. So let's say I do dir. So it lists all my files. Presently, this folder is empty. So I need to like add this HTML blah 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 code. So if I want to do that, I do arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow up. Oh, it's not there. It's gone. Because I actually, okay, it's here. Yes. So I do arrow up, then I do arrow down. So I saw it. So I can click enter now. And look at that. I have this. So I have my index.html, but then I need start or what's it called? Start.css. So I can just do arrow up. Then let me just increase. So I can do arrow up, then just delete this and do style.css. Then I can just come back with left key and do this is CSS file. You know, see that is that. Then I need to do the script.js file. So I can just come back here, delete this and say this is script file. So I have this. So we have this. So the question now is, okay, fine, Ridwan, I have all this code, but it is not possible for me. It is possible though, but I want to open up these files inside my VSC so that I can be coding. So like what I showed you the other time, if you want to open your VSC, what you do is do start code. So this is going to open VSC. It's going to open VSC up, and the VSC that is going to open is going to be on, you know, on the default. So definitely you still have to come back here and be doing file, then be looking for that particular folder again. And, you know, you have to come here, do file, then open folder. You know, that is kind of stressful and we want to make our life easier. So how do I open up this directory in VSC straight? You know, there is a code for that. If you do code, which means VS code, and you do dots. So this is going to open up VS Code inside this social media directory. So if I click enter now, let's see what's going to happen. You see that I have my, it's opened up VS Code directly inside that folder. So how beautiful that is. So from here, I can edit my file. I can say, you know what, instead of this is this, I want you to have HTML boilerplate, and you know, I want you to have the HTML syntax. So just do HTML, save it, and inside there, I want you to have, you know, instead of this, type your code and you save it. How beautiful that is. So another beautiful thing I want to show us is, okay, fine, Ridwan. Let's say I can open up my code, my VS Code from here, but then let's say I still want to run some other commands. Do I shuffle between VS Code and command prompts? You know what? VS Code make life beautiful for us. What do I mean? I want to show you. VS Code has inbuilt command terminal. So how do you access that? So there are two ways to access that in VS Code. So I will show you the two ways. So the first way to access that in VS Code is clicking on this terminal. So if I click on this terminal and I click new terminal, this is going to open up a terminal for me in my present working directory, which is this social media directory. So from here, I can do, let's say I want to delete this scripts file. I don't need it. I can do delete scripts.js file from here, and look at that, it is gone. So it is gone here. If you check your folder, which is your directory, it is gone too. So if I go back into social media, it is gone. How beautiful. So that is one way to open what's it called? Terminal in your VS Code. You can come here, click terminal, and the beauty of it is you can run multiple terminals at the same time. So if I come here and I click, you see that I can be running another terminal. So I can run as many terminals as possible here. So you see that I have 3 terminals here. So I have CMD, you see it, CMD. So you can close this up. Another way to open terminal in VSC is by dragging. You can see that if you go down to the what can I say, the last panel on your VSC, you see this. You see that this has changed. Click on it, then drag it up. It's going to open the terminal. You see that? How beautiful, how cool. And you can delete the terminals here. So if you have one terminal, you can actually add new terminal to it. This is new terminal. You can split the terminal into two, and you can delete a terminal, or you can delete everything and you can close it up. How cool is that? You know, life is so beautiful with terminal. So you can see that that is a lot faster than clicking, right clicking, creating a folder, creating a file, double clicking to open it, then going to VS Code, open it up, then locate your folder, all those things. So as developers, we really want to do something really fast. So that is that. And I think I've showed us how to rename. So you can, you know, you can at your own layer time, you can go through all these and you can play with these things. And let's say in my code, I want to have what's it called? I want to copy index.html, and let's say I have index.html and I need to like work on another page, which is about us page. So how do I create that? Instead of coming here and clicking on about us page, I can copy everything. Let's say I want to copy everything inside of this into about us page, and I want to have index.html page and about us page differently. So what I will do is I can open up my terminal, I can come here and I can do copy. So what do you want to copy? Index.html, then give it a name of about.html. You see that I have about.html. So fast, very fast. How cool is that? And let's say this about.html, I made a mistake. Actually, it is not about.html. It is contact.html that I want to create for contact us page. So I can just do rename about.html to contact.html. You see that? Very fast. Very fast. So, if you want to like, what's it called? If you want to practice, just try your best at maybe at your own layer time, then practice with all these codes. Then I'll also try my best to send all these commands to us so that we can actually see all the commands, and we can be using them in our day-to-day activity as a developer. So this makes a developer different from just normal person using the computer. So even here, I can do something. Let's say, this is just black background with this white text. I can change the color. So let's say I want to change the color. So if I do color, nothing is going to change. Let's just make a mistake. It's going to correct me. So if I do color, let's say color green. Yeah. So it says error. That command doesn't exist. But if you want to do color green, you can see its color attribute are specified by 2x. The first corresponds to the background. The second corresponds to the foreground. You see all this. So I can say I want my color to be green, which is 2. So let's do color, then 2. You see that? How cool. How cool is that? So I want my color to be red, which is 4. So if I do color 4, you see that. But this ought to be high. I can do color light yellow. So I can do color capital E. I have light yellow. How cool is that? So let's try something else. I want color 2. Then the background should be what can we give it? 8. Oh, that hurts my eyes. So I can change it back to color. Then let's do 0 black. Then F bright white. You see this? How cool. Or I can even make my I can do color. I can make it inverse. Color, then F for bright white. I want my text to be black and the background to be, I want my text to be white. No, I want my text to be black. Color 0 and F. Okay, sorry. Color F. Let's do color F and 0. You see this? How cool. So this is cool, and like now you can call yourself a developer because you have all these tools and you know how to use them. So that is it for now, and that is it for today. I was actually thinking we'll have enough time, then I can take us through another word. So we are done with command and terminal, and and the commands and what's it called? The command line
Sorry,
and the terminal. So
sorry, sir. Question.
what do you say?
I have a question.
Okay, what's the question?
Okay, let's say for example, we want to download
Okay.
maybe a file on the internet. How can we do that using the
Don't
command
worry,
prompt?
we get there. Because actually I thought we are going to have enough time today. Because there's
Okay.
something we really need to understand. And trust me, that thing is something like, all job descriptions now, they will ask you if they want to employ you as a developer, they will ask, do you know Git? They will ask you, do you know GitHub? So what is the difference between the two? What is Git? What is GitHub? So I thought we were going to have enough time today, but then hopefully that's going to be our next topic. So then during that process of Git and GitHub, you will see how to download files from GitHub through this command line. And also, like I said, let me just pause this.